It's that time of year again. Welcome, my non-existent viewers. This is going to be the start of list week, where at the start of every January, this has been a tradition on my channel for a few years now, where like at the start of every January, like January 1st, New Year's Day, I do a looking back on the respective year that just ended in a video, like I did yesterday, my Schizo Rambling, and from January 2nd till like January 8th or 9th, or sometime every January, I do a whole bunch of list videos, like top 5s and top 9s, and I decided to call it list week instead of top 5/9 week, because tonight, we are doing something I have not done on my channel before at all. I'm doing my first top 6 list. These are my top 6 favorite movies of 2024, and I gotta be really honest about something. I'm doing a top 6 this year for both my best list and my worst list, because I didn't really have as much time for going to the movies in 2024 as I, usually do, because, it was a really busy year for me just with work and moving to Ohio and all this other stuff that was going on. So, I feel like there's a lot of great films I saw in 2024 that I just missed. And also, there are some films I honestly regret not going to see in theaters when I had the chance to do so. So, this list is based completely off of my opinion and from the films I've seen, and overall, I thought 2024 was just not really the best or worst year for movies. It was, overall, I think, just looking at the year as a whole, right, not individual films, 2024 was just kind of a meh year for movies. I'm doing a top 6 because I feel like I didn't see enough, films I loved to make, a top 9 best list. But at the same time, I didn't see enough movies I flat out hated to make a top 9, or films I even just disliked to make a top 9 worst list either. So I've been writing my lists on my little notebook right here. I just wanted to give a cut before we get my top 6. I want to share some honorable mentions. I got Civil War, Smile 2, Monkey Man, Wicked, Heretic, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Furiosa: A Mad Max Saga. All those were very well made films, and and if you guys have your picks for your favorite movie of the year, you could give me your top 5, top 3, top 6, your top 10, top 15, top 20. Let me know in the comments down below, and let's begin.
Number 6!
No human characters, no Michael Bay in the director's chair, and no BS. My number 6 spot goes to Transformers 1, which this was a film that I actually have seen twice. First time when I saw it in theaters, and I got Paramount Plus this year to watch Ninja Turtles, my new Turtle Tuesday series. And I decided to rewatch Transformers 1 the other night, and I gotta say, this film has gotten better the more that I've thought about it, because this film is PG, and it is way more mature than any of the PG-13 Transformers films directed by Michael Bay, which I still look at the first 2 Bayformers movies as guilty pleasures of mine. And the franchise has improved over years since Michael Bay has stepped out of the director's chair, but an animated Transformers film was just such a good return to its roots, seeing Cybertron and seeing how Orion Pax became Optimus Prime, and how D16 became Megatron, and the sympathetic villain, and the different characters, and Cybertron, the whole world is just it feels so alive. The animation is great, it's colorful, the action scenes were excellent, and just this film is, I hear it underperformed at the box office. It's really a shame, because this film truly was Badass-a-tron.
Number 5!
I just realized that just last year, half of my list is animated films. My number 5 spot goes to Inside Out 2. Another film, I like I said, I saw Transformers 1 once in theaters and once on Paramount Plus. I actually saw Inside Out 2 in theaters twice. This was such a great follow-up to the 2015 smash hit Inside Out that honestly, I kind of prefer Inside Out 2 just a little bit better than the first film, because there's just the new emotions, anxiety, envy, ennui, and embarrassment just work so well with the original emotions like joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. And we see Riley maturing and growing up, and it's puberty and being a teenager is such a confusing time. And just like how the first Inside Out brought the relatability factor, honestly, it's even more relatable this time around, because now she's dealing with all these big feelings. And I'm assuming there's going to be an Inside Out 3, which I'm very excited to see it do so, because it does feel like that Riley is growing up, just like the viewers that go to see these Pixar films. And yeah, Disney has been Disney and Pixar, you know, the parent company more specifically, they've been having, like, Disney's been going through golden ages and dark ages for as long as Disney has been Disney. Like, I know people kind of like to just, you know, crap all over Disney nowadays, being like, oh, it's every Disney film is becoming like a woke flop, but it's like Inside Out 2 is definitely one of the films that says that made it say, like, hey, Pixar especially still gets it right when they get it right. My number 4 spot, my man Denis Villeneuve struck again in 2024 with Dune Part 2. This was just like, again, I've said it before in previous videos, and I'll say it again here, Denis Villeneuve is just such a unique director in that he makes these huge blockbuster spectacles, these huge, you know, you got with Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, and of course the 2 Dune films. Like, he has this massive budget at his hands with these huge CGI spectacles of just, like, you know, other worlds and aliens and big action scenes, but it's like, there's still such an art housey feel to it. Like, I just, honestly, there's really no other director like it. And of course, you can't deny the great characters and the great performances from Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. I actually prefer Dune Part 2 better than Dune Part 1 because both films are, like, slow burners, but Dune Part 2 just had, in my opinion at least, had more like gripping intense action scenes. And the death worms, you can't possibly get the giant worms in space. And yes, the Dune novel that these films are based on was actually George Lucas's inspiration for Star Wars. I don't think enough people realize that. Like, the original Dune book was really what paved the way for, like, modern science fiction. Like, you know, Star Wars and Star Trek kind of just followed suit. So I really need to, like, read that book and review it for you guys when I get the chance. Or listen to an audiobook while playing Minecraft. You know, whatever comes first. Okay, so I got my horn right here because, which I've had this thing since 2017. I'm drinking mead as we move into my top 3 because when I reviewed the Robert Eggers film The Northman back in 2022, I made a mead joke in that video, right, because it's a movie about Vikings. And now I actually have some mead to drink tonight because just from that film still, I still gotta choose between kindness for my kin and hate for my enemies. Ugh, that's good. Alright, so my number 3 spot goes to Nosferatu. Robert Eggers, just like Denis Villeneuve, he struck again this year and gave us another, like, contemporary classic with Nosferatu, the reimagining of the 1920s, like, silent horror film, which was, you know, with Bill Skarsgård playing as the titular, just, like, super creepy demonic vampire, and, like, the performances from you know, Bill Skarsgård and Nicholas Hoult and everyone else in this film just came together so well. And, like, again, Robert Eggers was just like, I'm going to see everything that he puts out now because, like, he has these very interesting, like, kind of like these simple premises, but makes them it's so, like, gripping it and so intense and so unique. And, you know, the score, especially, like, with Nosferatu, was like, I felt like I saw this movie over Christmas with my friend Mark, and, you know, I reviewed it, and, like, we felt like we were there in the settings. That's when a horror film knows that it's done its job properly. And, you know, just like how The Northman tanked at the box office and didn't receive, like, any Oscar nominations, I really hope this year is where the Academy, like, learns its lesson and gives Nosferatu, like, a couple of nods, because this film, it totally deserves it.
Number 2! No!
Okay. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. My number 2 spot goes to Deadpool and Wolverine. Just like how I say that Disney's been going through, like, you know, golden ages and dark ages for as long as Disney has been Disney, Marvel has kind of been going through that same, like, cycle too, where it's like, I feel like the MCU has just, it's past its golden age, but then, like, you know, last year we got Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and this year we got Deadpool and Wolverine, and back in 2021 we got, like, Spider-Man No Way Home. There really needs to just be more better quality MCU films, and this was, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine was the only MCU film we got in 2024, which I definitely think was a step in the right direction, you know, because, like, hey, quality over quantity. This film was everything we wanted it to be, and it was more. you know, the one and only Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, the one and only Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and just their chemistry on screen together, them just roasting each other and getting into fights, as well as kicking loads of bad guys' butts, and all the Deadpools in this film, and with the set pieces and the settings, and just like the soundtrack. You cannot beat the film's soundtrack, especially. And stick around for the credits. And I really would like to see more Deadpool team-ups, not just with Wolverine, but I'm still, like, cross my fingers. I've always been, ever since Deadpool's first film way back in 2016, I've been wanting to see him do a buddy cop comedy with Spider-Man. I'm not giving up on that just yet. Alrighty, my number one spot, and this was, not gonna lie, this was a pretty hard choice between this and Deadpool and Wolverine. While I do think that Deadpool and Wolverine is a more entertaining film, I picked this because I just feel like it's just an objectively better film, just in terms of, like, you know, because Deadpool and Wolverine was, like, kind of made to be, like, you know, rather just silly and ridiculous and just, like, off the walls, while this film was just definitely something that, like, this is the second year in a row that an animated film has taken home my spot for my favorite movie of the year, and that is The Wild Robot. I read the book. I read the book that this film is based on because I saw we all saw the trailer for The Wild Robot earlier, like back early in 2024, and we were just immediately intrigued because it looked like a super, like, unique DreamWorks film, right? And I heard that it was based on a book, and I was like, ooh, I want to start reviewing books more on my YouTube channel this year. And that's what I started doing. I bought the book and I read it and reviewed it, and I had a lot of fun reading that book and reviewing it for you guys. And I knew it was like, oh man, I can't wait for this movie to come out. And I was not disappointed. Lupita Nyong'o, between this and A Quiet Place Day One, just, this was her year. And I, like, you know, one of my favorite actresses. I couldn't even, honestly, you kind of forget that she's voicing Roz, the titular robot in the film. And just, at its core, it's such a humane story with characters that aren't even human. You know, this robot living alongside all these wild animals on this island, and her raising this orphan goose. And of course, the chemistry with Fink the Fox, brilliantly voiced by Pedro Pascal. And this whole film is just so, like, it's like watching an art museum. The animation is absolutely stunning, and so is the score and the writing and the characters. This was the one film I saw this year that got me to cry, which I very rarely cry at films. I had one singular man-tear moment nearing the end of this film, and I just, like, I loved Inside Out too, but this damn well better be, like, DreamWorks' first Oscar since 2005 with Wallace and Gromit. Like, seriously, Academy, wake up. Alright, so, there you guys have it. My top 6 favorite movies of 2024. Like I said earlier in this video, if you guys have your own list, feel free to comment in the section down below. And stay tuned, tomorrow I will be uploading my top 6 worst movies of 2024, as well as other, like, you know, all the list videos I'm making this January are going to be movie themed. Like, top 5s and top 9s. Probably not gonna do a top 6 after tomorrow, but, like, I just, these all being, like, movie themed, you know, list videos, you'll get to see why at the end of this week. So, and also, I'm gonna, like, I'll be gonna do Would You Rather Wednesday, poll asking you guys, like, what the theme should be for my next, like, list week. Then I'm gonna be doing this October for my YouTube channel's 12th anniversary, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Stay beastly.